think that the CBN is unnecessarily creating confusion by the Naira redesign policy. It would be better if they were redenominating the currency. So if they were doing more than cosmetic change. So there is a benefit in redenominating. And then the cosmetic change that the central bank is trying to implement is impossible to implement. It can't work. And I will tell you why it can't work. If you look at the figures of the currency department of the CBN, as we speak, we have more than 10 billion pieces of Naira notes in circulation. Let me say, before they started withdrawing the old notes from circulation, we had more than 10 billion pieces. We introduced these notes. We introduced 1,000 notes in 2005. 2005 to 2023, that's nearly 18 years. So we've had 18 years to pump billions of these notes into circulation. And the central bank is proposing to replace those top three denominations in 45 days. Now, the top three denominations are also the most used denominations. So we are talking maybe 5 billion pieces of notes is what we want to print in 45 days. If you were given a year, you can't print 5 billion pieces of notes. You've had 18 years to do the 10 billion that is circulating. And should you even print 10 billion pieces? It's wasteful. If I wanted to handle 1 million Naira equivalent of currency in cash, I need 1,000 Naira notes. 1,000. That's 1 million Naira. 1,000 pieces of notes. I need 2,500 Naira notes just for 1 million. But if I get the same equivalent value in dollars, I need 12 pieces of $100 notes. So do you need to print 1,000 notes for a transaction that 12 pieces of notes can do? Or do you need 2,500 Naira notes for something that 24 pieces of $50 notes can do? Trying to replace the 1,000 Naira note that is worth about $1.50, $1 to $2 with notes of the same value. You should be withdrawing the 1,000 Naira notes and coining them. 1,500, 200, 150. Coin them and introduce two. You can retain the 1,000 as a note, but it has to be the lowest denomination. And introduce 2,000 Naira, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. So that if I want to handle a 1 million Naira transaction, if I have the 20,000 Naira note, I have cut the number that I need to handle from 1,000. Is that not? To about what? Is that 50? If I can divide 1,000 by 20. So it makes more sense. It's still too much compared with some other currencies, but it's more sensible. So the mint, if the mint has to print 50 notes per 1 million Naira, then it can deliver. But if the mint mint has to print 1,000 notes just for 1 million Naira, that is just 12 notes if we were using $100 bill, or print 2,000 notes just for 1 million, 2,500 Naira notes. Just so redenominate it. Let the mint print, 50 notes instead of 1,000 notes. Let the mint print, instead of 2,000 notes, let it print 100 notes. And even if you do 40,000 naira, you are cutting it even further. So that's my point. So if you could handle 1 million naira in 25, so this is the lesson that the central bank is missing. All the central banking regimes before now, if they want to, change currency, that's what they will do. When the Naira was introduced in 1973, 10 Naira was the highest denomination. It was worth $15. And I think by 77, 20 Naira was introduced. By 91, 50 Naira was introduced. By 99, 100, and between 99 and 205, we had 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira introduced in 205. Let's continue that journey that has taken us from 10 Naira being the highest denomination. 20 Naira came, it made things better. 50 Naira came, it made things better. 100 Naira, 200, 500, 1,000 came, they made things better. So journey on. Go to 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, if not 40,000. And reduce the heap of notes that you have to print. It's wasteful. I mean, who will want to pay 1 million naira now and go and be writing checks of 1,000? So you will write 1,000 checks to pay 1 million naira when you can write one check or two checks, which is what the central bank is doing. The money you are printing is valueless. And there's no printing press in the world, there's no mint that can cope. So I'm saying cosmetic redesign is a waste of everybody's time. Don't you stop it, just suspend it. That's one. Two, we are already cut halfway. Some new notes are out, but it's not enough. So the central bank should be honest and say, we don't have enough new notes to go around. Therefore, continue to use your old notes. It's not just that they don't have enough new notes to go around. If you give them 5 years, they won't have enough new notes to go around. So the more sensible thing is to say, just continue your life let the old notes circulate with the new notes until we can redenominate. Going to stamp 1,000 naira on paper, and having 10 billion pieces of such is wrong. So even if you didn't know what to do, look back and see what previous regimes in the central bank have done, just like I've traced for us. They will introduce larger denomination notes. And when this 1,000 naira was introduced in 2005, it was worth about $10. It was worth between $8 and $10. Now it's worth between $1 and $2. So holding the nation down to anything you want to buy today, you need the 1,000 naira note. If you want to buy fuel, if you want to buy even lunch, you want to pay for transport, you need the 1,000. It shouldn't be so. It should be lower denomination notes that you should be using for those daily repetitive transactions, and reserving larger value notes. So for me to fill my tank now, I need to count 15 pieces or 20 pieces of the largest denomination notes. It's a joke. So give us notes that correspond with retail prices. Retail prices have outgrown the values of the notes that you have given us now. I mean, people, how much does lunch cost? It depends on where you have it. In many five-star hotels now, you are going to be counting 10, 15 pieces of that naira to pay for lunch. You should pay for lunch in a coin. In England, the lowest denomination note is £5. £2 is a coin. The central bank needs to think and introduce sensible reforms, and the sensible reform will be to redenominate the naira notes and coin the smaller denomination ones. But this redesign policy cannot work, and the central bank needs to be honest about the fact that it cannot work. because we simply lack the capacity to print 10 billion pieces of notes. Even if we had the capacity to print it, it would be wasteful to print it. So halt it. You shouldn't be printing more 1,000 Naira notes. Introduce larger denomination so that the mint can easily print them.